The Zamfara State Police Command says it is consolidating the gains of peace achieved in the state. Sokoto APC criticizes Governor Tambuwal over poor performances. President Buhari charges INEC and police to be fair and allow Nigerians to elect whoever is their choice. On business, court orders NERC to halt increase of electricity tariff. On sports, Sadio Mane wins African Footballer of the Year. On the international scene, US denies Iran's foreign minister visa to attend UN meeting. Welcome to Standard Voice Television News. I am Musa Joy Onyoza. Now the news in full. The Zamfara State Police Command, in collaboration with other security agencies, embarked on massive interaction, forest visitations and consultations to all manners of people in the state that would help the cause of peace through reconciliation, mutual respect and understanding of the remote causes of banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling in the state. This was stated by the State Commissioner of Police CP Usman Nagogwo at a press conference held on Wednesday, 8 January 2020 at the Police Command Headquarters, Gusau, Zamfara State.
In the last 7 months, precisely from 12 June 2019, the police, in collaboration with other security agencies, embarked on massive interaction, forest visitations, and consultation to all manners of people in the state that will help the cause of peace through reconciliation, mutual respect, and understanding of the remote causes of banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling in Zamfara, and its attendant consequences to the lives and economic well-being of this agrarian society. The journey has been tough and arduous, but with patient and persistent perseverance, nothing is insurmountable. The resolve to adopt community policing and engagement as envisaged by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed A. Abubakar, MPM, MNI, had tremendously impacted to the current peace Zamfara State enjoyed. The success was also made possible by the foresight of the state government through the unique leadership of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Zamfara State, Dr. Mohammed Bello Mutawale, who set a stage for peaceful resolution of the intractable conflict that existed for over a decade. His leadership style, coupled with the will to succeed, was indeed unparalleled in the annal history of the state since its creation. He has all alone drawn near all the security agencies in the state by providing the wherewithal necessary to get to the root cause of act of banditry in the state. The emergence of General Officer Commanding 8th Division Sokoto, GOC, Brigadier General Aminu Bande, has indeed brought a new dimension to the fight against banditry. The General has not only supported the peace initiative, but also involved deeply into it. Where the bandit proved to be recalcitrant, he dealt with them decisively and submissively. Indeed, his posting to this zone is well-timed and one of the best things that happened to the fight against banditry and all forms of criminality in the state. The friends in Zamfara State are wonderful people. The way and manner they exhibited professionalism and moral code of ethics in their reported of Zamfara conflict was not only guided by professional training, but also a sense of responsibility. Throughout the 7 months we started the peace and reconciliation, they have never reported any event that has not happened. The much talk of sensational journalism was never part of their trade, And they added that fen is smarter than sword does not influence their report or events that actually happen in Zamfara State.
CP Usman Nagogo said the journey has been tough and arduous, but with patience and persistent perseverance, nothing is insurmountable. The Commissioner resolved to adopt community policing and engagement as envisaged by the Inspector General of Police to tackle insurgency in the state. CP Usman Nagogo explained that IGP Mohammed A. Adamu has tremendously impacted to the current peace effort in Zamfara State. He said the success was also made possible by the foresight of the state government through the unique leadership of Governor Bello Mohammed Matawale, who set a stage for peaceful resolution of the intractable conflicts that existed for over a decade. The Commissioner said the governor's leadership style, coupled with the will to succeed, was indeed unparalleled in the annal history of the state since its creation. The Commissioner commended the governor for drawing near all the security agencies in the state by providing the wherewithal necessary to get to the root cause of art of banditry in the state. He said the emergence of General Officer Commanding 8th Division Sokoto Brigadier General Aminu Bande has indeed brought a new dimension to the fight against banditry. The Commissioner explained that the General has not only supported the peace initiative, but also involved deeply into it. He said his posting to this zone was timely and one of the best things that happened to the fight against banditry and all forms of criminality in the state. CP Usman Nagogo commended the press in Zamfara State for exhibiting professionalism and moral code of ethics in their reportage of Zamfara conflict. The police boss announced that throughout the 7 months they started the peace and reconciliation process, they have never reported any event that has not happened. The CP said the Commissioner for Security and Home Affairs, Alhaji Abubakar Dauran, had played a pivotal role in his involvement in the negotiation with the bandits and his foresight in handling the much outlawed military group Ensa Kai.
Domin sanin ku ne wanda duk ya san inda aka fito lokacin waccan gwamnatin garin Shinkahi kansa karhe 4 baka da hanyar da zaka bi ka tafi Shinkahi.
The Commissioner noted with satisfaction that the disarmament process would have been difficult without his input. The Commissioner said the dialogue and reconciliation adventure have shown that the act of criminality involved different races and tribes in Nigeria. CP Usman Nagogo expressed happiness that the repentant bandits were also committed to the cause of peace, that they embraced the disarmament process by surrendering high caliber of arms to the peace committee. He said as at the last count, they received over 80 of these dangerous weapons. Just of recent, one of the repentant bandits from Shinkafi local government area surrendered 7 of these sophisticated rifles following the Peace Committee's meeting with warring parties presided over by the Commissioner of Police at the Emir's Palace, Shinkafi. The repentant bandits have been engaging and fighting other recalcitrant bandits and brought their weapons seized. The All Progressive Congress APC Sokoto State Chapter on Tuesday told Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal to stop hiding under international donor intervention project to cover its poor performance. Alhaji Isa Sadiq Achida, the state APC chairman, made a call at a press conference on the current happenings in the state. He described the state's 2020 budget as a mere chain of broken promises. According to Sadiq Achida, the People's Democratic Party administration in the state is using easy approach to infrastructure development by hiding under international donor and intervention agencies for its capital projects. Similarly, the much celebrated construction of refuse dump sites by the State Ministry of Environment is being funded by World Bank Intervention Program. The fact is that the PDP government has no moral right to claim credit for the success of international donor agencies, while at the same time diverting the scarce resources into explicable channels. The chairman added that the only completed project in the state by Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal are those with foreign funding, while those being funded directly by the government remained uncompleted. Alhaji Sadiq Achida further alleged that nothing was said about the success recorded by the government in 2019 during the presentation of the 2020 budget. This is in complete contrast with the establishment tradition where government reviews their performances on the outgoing budget, highlighting their achievement before presenting a new one. The APC further described the recent award to Tambuwal by the Nigerian Tribune newspaper as a great insult to the collective intelligence of the people of the state. The Nigerian Tribune owes the people of Sokoto State an explanation as to the criteria used and the selection process which led to the choice of Tambuwal as a champion of education. The chairman explained that despite the so-called huge budgetary allocation of 47.4 billion naira representing 27.9% of the 2019 budget complemented with the unfair deduction of civil servant salaries, the administration is still finding it difficult to settle the examination and registration fees of children who continue to lose admission opportunity. The APC chairman advised the state government to consider capital project as a veritable tool of fighting poverty. He pointed out that the multiplier effect in stimulating growth and development of small businesses that have often provided succor to our teeming jobless youth. President Muhammadu Buhari Tuesday followed with actions his resolve to engender a free, fair and credible electoral processes. He met at State House, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, with Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakub, other top officials of the electoral body, and the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu. INEC has a minimum of 28 rerun and by elections this January alone, and President Buhari told the Commission to ensure that the game was played by the rules without fear or favor. The President said he was determined to give Nigeria an electoral system that meets with best practices anywhere in the world, and charged the electoral umpire to stick to the rules of fair play and adherence to justice. From the police, President Muhammadu Buhari wants nothing than a scrupulous securing of the electoral process without bias or favoritism. The President said elections must be done in violence-free atmosphere and the process must be free, fair, decent, devoid of intimidation or malpractices. Both INEC and the police pledged a fidelity to the rules and regulations, stating that they know President Buhari as someone passionately committed to fair play. President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the reversal of the suspension of the immediate past Managing Director of Rural Electrification Agency, Damilola Ogunbi. The President ordered the reversal of the suspension on Tuesday, January 7, 2020, in clear overrule of an earlier directive given by the Minister of Power, Alhaji Saleh Maman. He also ordered an investigation into alleged infractions by the agency under her. Before her suspension, Mrs. Ogunbi, first female MD of the REA, had tendered her resignation to take up a job as the UN Special Representative for Sustainable Energy and CEO of Sustainable Energy for All. Although the president reversed her suspension, he accepted her resignation. The directive of the president was conveyed in a letter directed to Amina Mohammed, UN Deputy Secretary General, by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Mrs. Ogumbi, as REA Managing Director, is said to be responsible for negotiating within 18 months the Nigerian electrification project, which is a $550 million facility to rapidly construct solar mini-grids and deploy solar home systems across Nigeria. She is also said to be responsible for the Energizing Education Program, which will provide uninterrupted electricity to 36 federal universities and 7 teaching hospitals through off-grid captive power. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced that it would commence the sales of its registration form for 2020 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination from January 13th to February 17th. This was made known by the head of Media and Information of the board, Mr. Fabian Benjamin, to NAN on Sunday in Lagos. The head of Media and Information said arrangement for the commencement of the sales of the document nationwide had been concluded and that over 650 computer-based test centers have so far been accredited for its upcoming examination. The head of Media and Information said arrangement for the commencement of the sales of the document nationwide has been concluded and that over 650 computer-based test centers have so far been accredited for its upcoming examination. The head of Media and Information emphasized the fact that there is no going back on the use of the National Identification Number for the acquisition of the registration documents by prospective candidates. He advised the candidates ahead of the registration to ensure that they seek advice or help from officials of the board. They should not involve third parties and always ensure that they secure their personal data. We'll be right back after the short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. On business, Ibrahim Fauziad has more detail.
Thank you, Musa Joy. My name is Fauzia Ibrahim, and welcome to Business News. The Corporated Trustees of Human Rights Foundation has asked the Federal High Court in Lagos to stop the proposed over 40% increase in electricity tariff in Nigeria. In a suit filed before Justice Muslim Hassan, the group urged that the implementation of the purported minor review of the multi-year tariff order will create unquantifiable hardship and damage on Nigerian electricity consumers. The proposed increase will make consumers to pay very high tariff, which has been increased by over 40% across the board, of which is currently being billed. In an affidavit disposed by Theodora Obabunike, a lawyer, the human rights group said it will amount to a great injustice to impose arbitrary electricity tariff on Nigerian electricity consumers. He said Nigerians will suffer monumental loss as many will not be able to access power or access SIM at very high tariff. Joined as respondents in the suit are the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission, the Bureau of Public Enterprises, the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company (PLC), and the Ministry of Power. Also joined as respondents are Abuja, Benin, Enugu, Ikeja, Kaduna, Kano, Port Harcourt, Yola, Eko, Ibadan, and Jos electricity distribution companies. In an expert application taken before Justice Hassan on Monday by Anajachi Nedu, the human rights group prayed for an order of interim conjunction restraining NEIC from taking any steps toward the implementation of the purported minor review of the multi-year remittance order 2019, pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice filed by the group. However, following arguments by Chinedu on Monday, Justice Hassan declined granting the expert application but instead ordered the parties to maintain the status quo. The judge ordered that the status quo antebellum shall be maintained by the parties in the suit pending determination of the motion on notice. Justice Hassan adjourned till January 28, 2020 for the hearing of the motion on notice. That's all we have on business news. Back to Musa Joy.
Thank you, Fauziad. And on sport, Abubakar Sufyan has more detail.
Thank you, Joy Musa. My name is Abu Sufyan Bakar, and as usual, I bring the sports updates. Liverpool's Sadio Mane has seen off challenge from teammate Mohamed Salah and Manchester City's Riyad Mahrez to become CAF African Footballer of the Year. Sadio Mane, who scored 22 English Premier League goals for Liverpool last season, was the joint top goal scorer in the league, with Mohamed Salah also on 22 and a fellow African also, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, with 22 goals as well. Sadio Mane scored 22 English Premier League goals last season and was joint top goal scorer with Mohamed Salah and another African, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang of Arsenal. Sadio Mane helped Liverpool win the UEFA Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup and the Club World Cup in 2019. On the female category, Azizat Oshawola, a Nigerian, was crowned as the African Footballer of the Year in the women's category. Borussia Dortmund right back Achraf Hakimi saw off challenge from two Nigerians, Victor Osimhen and Samuel Chukwueze, to become the Young African Footballer of the Year. And on the Carabao Cup update, Manchester City defeated Manchester United with 3-1 at the Old Trafford Stadium last night. Both Riyad Mahrez and Kevin De Bruyne were on the score sheet as Marcus Rashford scored the consolidating goal for Arsenal, as Marcus Rashford scored the consolidating goal for Manchester United. And that's all we have on sports today. Back to Joy Musa.
Thank you, Sufyan. And on the international scene, Iran's foreign minister said on Tuesday that he has been informed by UN Chief Antonio Guterres that Washington has denied him a visa for a trip to UN headquarters in New York. The foreign minister said the U.S. State Secretary Mike Pompeo, in a call to the Secretary General of the United Nations, said they don't have the time to issue a visa for Mohammed Javad Zarif. The Secretary General responded by saying that it is Iran's right to take part in this session. Mr. Zarif was speaking to reporters in Tehran at a gathering to promote an Iranian peace plan for the Gulf. His remark came as Iran held funeral processions on Tuesday for one of its top military commanders killed in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq. Qasem Soleimani's assassination has sparked a war of words between the Armed Force, with Iran vowing severe revenge and U.S. President Donald Trump threatening to hit back hard for retaliation. Trump warned on Saturday that Washington had lined up 52 targets if Tehran attacked U.S. personnel or assets. The Iranian foreign minister said he had been planning to go to UN headquarters on Thursday for an open debate on upholding the Charter of the United Nations. He said it is not the first time that Iranian officials have encountered problems when traveling to New York for events at UN headquarters. In December, the United Nations General Assembly called on the United States to lift restrictions on Iranian diplomats. In September, while taking part in the annual General Assembly, Zarif complained he was unable to visit the country's UN ambassador in U.S. hospital. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. The State Police Command says it is consolidating the gains of peace achieved in the state. Sokoto APC criticizes Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal over poor performance. President Muhammadu Buhari charges INEC and police to be fair and allow Nigerians to elect whoever is their choice. On business, court orders NERC to halt increase of electricity tariff. On sports, Sadio Mane wins African Footballer of the Year. On the international scene, U.S. denies Iran's foreign minister visa to attend UN meeting. Thanks for watching. I still remain Mosajoy Onyola. Stay tuned.